And hello everyone, welcome to the Famicom Trilogy tournament. I think I just talked without my mic being on, so sorry for the inconvenience if I just wasn't talking that whole time or if my or if I'm just repeating myself. But welcome to the Famicom Trilogy tournament for multiple classic Mario games. Running a little bit late, but better late than never. My name is Marzo2 if I didn't introduce myself already. Yeah, it's a Friday night. I'm allowed to make excuses for my slip up there, but we're okay. We're okay. But yeah, we have I was just explaining while my mic was muted that the winner of this match is going to face the winner of myself and the winner of round one, Abella Brothers versus Drubsy speedrun. So tomorrow night we'll have Abella versus Drubsy, and the winner of that will face myself, and the winner of that match will face the winner of this match. So the runner should be off now. Yep, we just started. Well, players are going for the very standard big Fire Mario strat for Super Mario Bros. 1. So this Famicom Trilogy tournament, there are 3 games, obviously, because it's called Trilogy. We have the original Super Mario Bros., which is what we're playing right now. Then we're going to go play Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, the original FDS version, not the veggie throwing Mario 2. And then we have Super Mario Bros. 3, but not on the North American version. We're requiring the runners to play on the Japanese version, since that's the Famicom version, and it does have its differences compared to the NES version. Stewie taking a hit there in 1-2. I wasn't like fully paying attention to that. I'm guessing that Goomba may have spawned in a weird spot, and he was like a little high, so it was hard to jump over him. But he recovers pretty nicely at the end there. Definitely not a deal breaker though. Each race is about 26-27 minutes, and it is a best of 3, so we will have at least 2 and if not 3 27-minute races. So grab some food and get cozy. This is going to be some action happening here. So we're going to be entering 4-2, and you all may know about the wrong warp glitch. So normally to access the warp zone in 4-2, you hit some invisible coin blocks and it will reveal, or you can reveal a vine block. So take the vine up to the warp zone and warp to World 8, but instead the players are going to scroll Mario's position very far to the right. That's going to trick the game into thinking that if he goes down a pipe, instead of bringing him to an underground coin room, it will bring him to a warp zone. I can get a little more technical with the explanation, but I'm not very good with explaining the technical side of things, so I'll leave it at that. But I think pretty much most people know exactly an idea of how it works. 8-1 is the longest level in the original Super Mario Bros. And with Small Mario, it's pretty challenging, because in order to do it optimally, you have to do very tight pipe jumps. And obviously, you know, with the piranha plants there, it's a few frames of a window to jump, so everyone dies there at some point. One of the big reasons we have the Fire Flower for races. But Vince, since he didn't get hit in World 1, he has a slight lead entering 8-2, which is arguably the hardest level, in my opinion, for SMB 190%, especially with fire strats. Vin's doing a couple bonking strats there on the pipes. That should help manipulate this last paratroopa that he just bomped on to be in a favorable position, so you can stomp him, land on that next step, that one tile wide step, and then get to the flagpole. And Stewie did the same thing. sometimes the paratrooper can be really high and you can't bounce on him. You'll just like try to jump on him, but he'll be too high, so you just jump into the pit and die. Or he'll like be too low and he'll actually like fall into the pit himself before you can even land on him. And that can throw people off too. 8-3, another level that's definitely worth getting the Fire Flower for. Pretty much a piece of cake for these guys since they can just blast away the Hammer Bros. So, I didn't explain the fireworks, and I think Stewie got fireworks in 4-1, but in this game, if you grab the flagpole when the in-game timer has a 1, 3, or 6 as the final digit, you'll get fireworks in accordance to whichever number you got on the flag. So, you know, getting a 3 at the end of the timer when you grab the flag is 3 fireworks, and getting a 6 at the end of the timer when you grab the flag is 6 fireworks, and same thing with 1, but that doesn't lose any time. And both players missing the wall jump there. Stewie having a very safe wrong warp, and I believe Vince had a pretty fast wrong warp. Alright, under the Podoboo and under Bowser. Nice forward Bowser for Vince. So, you're gonna notice that the players are gonna be waiting longer than they would normally have to. You do have a mandated 25-second time cap in between, or a minimum time cap, I'll say, for switching games, because players will run on different hardware or different flash cards for the NES or different emulators, and they all have varying game loading speeds. So just to make it fair, so people don't win based off of their game loading times, we just mandate a 25-second minimum time cap in between each game. And if they end up trying to be sneaky, and Stewie taking a death there at the beginning of 2J. Not an amazing way to start out, but I think he'll brush off the rustiness and dominate like he always does. But yeah, like I was saying, we just mandate 25 seconds in between each game, and if they don't make it 25 seconds and they try to be sneaky about it, then we'll disqualify them for that individual race. One H2 is a pretty simple level, at least for the first room, because you're really mostly just running above the screen for the first room, but as we see Vince taking on the second room, it's a little bit more difficult, I would say. But in typical vinzchillin style, he masters it and is off to World 4. Now, I don't know who is going to be going for fire strats or who's going to be going for small only strats. This game is kind of a gray area with whether people want to do small only strats or fire strats. Obviously, like with SMB1, small strats are faster, but are significantly more dangerous. But it looks like both players will be going for the fire strats. And Stewie not quite making the slide under there, and jumping right into the one tile gap. So pretty dangerously close to a game over here. So game overs in this game, like with SMB1, when you game over in a certain world, and you click continue, it will bring you back to the first level of that world. So it's not as forgiving as the All-Stars remake, where it's just the beginning of the level you game over it in. So if he dies again, he has to start over back at 1-1. Vince is all powered up to the Fire Flower, widening his lead. Oh, okay, never mind, he doesn't have Fire Flower. I'm not paying good attention to Vince right now, I guess. I thought he had fire, but I saw him grabbing 4-1. Maybe he got hit somewhere. Ooh, getting hit by that bill. There is a safe strat you can do that loses a few seconds. And almost jumping into that bullet bill. For instance, I myself usually do a safe strat in 4-3. Slow yourself down a little bit so the bullet bills aren't always in your way. it pretty much guarantees you beat the level without any instances of getting hit, but Vinz wanted to be a little fast, and it unfortunately didn't pay off for him. 4-4, not a fun level to be small in unless you're insane at the game. Even then, it can still be pretty trolly. So, playing the elevator safe. Can't blame him. Those fireballs that Bowser throws can be really painful sometimes. They can spawn right in your path, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. Also, I really like how he challenged Bowser there, being really gutsy. Yeah, I guess it's safe to say that Vinz is insane at the game. I guess that's a safe assumption. Stewie almost bopping the paratrooper and almost dying from it. Got a little thrown off there, but he recovered pretty well from that. So that jump that you just saw Stewie do is actually a 3-frame window. Very, very tight. And I honestly think that if he jumped 1 frame earlier, he would have died. I'm kind of guessing. Vin's showing off a very good, consistent setup for the super jump. So that wall that you saw him use the Koopa to jump over, the intended way to do that is to hit invisible coin blocks and get up there, like in 1-2. But if you position Mario in the correct spot and you're at walking speed, and you ricochet off a paratrooper, then you'll get an insane amount of height. And you'll skip over that wall. You don't have to get the coin blocks, which does save a few seconds. And Stewie taking a hit to a troll fire flame from what it looked like in 4-4. So in the same position Vinz was, starting World 5 as small. I wonder... Yeah, he's gonna take a game over here. Very smart move. Don't want to get to 5-2 and have to replay 5-1 and 5-2 again. But Vin's keeping a pretty significant lead right now. Coming up almost halfway, done with the first race. Making very quick work of 8-1. Pretty tough level to do, but he did it pretty much flawlessly. And Stewie getting hit by the troll red piranha plants. You have to be like basically on top of where the piranha plants would come out if they're red for them to not pop out. Like, obviously with green piranha plants, you stand next to them, they won't come out. But with red piranha plants, you can step next to them and they'll still come out. So that makes this part where Stewie's at again just really tricky. We'll see how well Stewie can do the super jump if he goes for it. Went for it, but didn't quite get it, and almost died in the process, but he didn't. So that's good. I will note Vinz did recently create a Lost Levels category extensions category. The Mario and Luigi category, where you'll beat one quest as Mario and then go back to the title screen and do one quest as Luigi. It's kind of like a 2 times Lost Levels run, and you can choose whether to play any percent or warpless or all stages. And you have to do it 1 time with Mario and 1 time with Luigi, and he created that category. We actually have a bunch of new 2J categories. We have both characters FDS, which some weirdo created. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but we won't talk about that. And 1-1 is Fire Mario, which is getting kind of popular. It's gaining a little bit of traction. Yeah, I guess I didn't really explain the wrong warp in 5-2 that both players executed. So if you clip into an upside down pipe, once you are clipping in there and inside the pipe, when you push yourself to the... Oh, nice clip, Stewie. When you push yourself to the middle of the pipe and you go down, you'll actually warp to another part of the level. So it's another type of wrong warp, kind of like the one in 4-2, but a little bit different. Alright, so that is wrapping up 2J for vinzchillin. Pretty decent lead right now into Mario 3. But Stewie also keeping a strong run. Definitely don't count Stewie out just yet. SMB3 is his strong suit, so he could definitely catch up if he wants. One of the best Mario 3 speedrunners in the world, actually. So let's talk about Mario 3 for a minute. So we're requiring the runners to play on the Japanese version, the Famicom version, obviously, because it's called Famicom Trilogy. So Famicom Mario 3 is a little bit different than NES Mario 3 in a few aspects. So as you see Vince enter a level, it fades in, then it kind of like has like a fade in sort of thing when you enter a level. And it's not present in the NES version. They only do like the fade in from the overworld map, not the fade in, not the second fade in that you see going on. Yeah, that second fade in you see there where the level opens up, that's not present in the NES version. And it does lose time for the Famicom version, so definitely do not do your speedruns on this version unless you're doing Famicom Trilogy. If you do it on the NES version, it will be rejected, so don't try it. Mushroom houses are a little bit faster. Japanese text does take a little bit less time to finish being put on the screen, so to speak. We saw Stewie get hit there by the fire flower, or yeah, totally by the fire flower, sure. The fire bar in 8-4. So I didn't really explain the duck swimming thing in SMB1 and 2J. But if you're holding down on a surface underwater and you press A to swim, your hitbox is kind of reduced to like basically what would be a ducking Mario. Kind of like what you saw Stewie just do over those Koopas, that ducking sprite, where it's like half the size of like Mario's standing sprite. That's the size of Mario's hitbox when you duck swim underwater, so it can kind of look like he like goes through fire bars and bloopers and stuff, but it's actually just because he's like duck swimming. Kind of like duck jumping underwater. Kind of think of it like that with his hitbox. But the sprite, they didn't design a sprite for ducking swimming Mario. So it's like a duck jumping hitbox with a normal swimming sprite. And they use it in SMB1 as well in like 8-4. So both runners are now in the final game for race 1. Another difference too that I didn't mention with Famicom Mario 3 is that if you get hit as like Tail Mario or Fire Mario or Hammer Mario, there's something more powerful than just regular Big Mario. In the Famicom version, you'll just go right back down to Small Mario. You won't go from like Tail Mario to Big Mario to Small Mario like the NES version. Like if Vince gets hit right now, since he's on the Famicom version, he goes right back down to Small, not Big. So it's very important to take that into consideration when you're doing this version for Famicom Trilogy. While I was yapping about that, I did notice Stewie taking a death to the first enemy in 1-3, the Koopa Troopa. It can actually be like, when you want to do that optimally, it is kind of hard to get over him, because you want to like flick the A press, and a lot of the time you'll flick it so lightly that it won't register that you press the button. But alright, so Vin's taking a death there in the beginning of the Navy. So, we'll set him back a little bit. But, still maintaining a little bit of a lead. Definitely very awkward being just big only Mario. You're like the biggest sprite where you can't do anything. Like, you can't shoot enemies. Like, you're helpless, but at the biggest state possible. Almost rather be small at that point. Alright, well I guess now we'll do a little hand prediction. How many hands are the runners going to get? Now, when I set up this tournament, I did leave a vote to the runners on whether they wanted to take out time for each hand they got. So like if someone got 2 hands, we take about 40 seconds or 50 seconds off of their time, just to make it fair, so that people didn't win by how many hands they got. But the runners actually wanted to keep it vanilla, so in other words, they just didn't want any time reduction from the hands. They just wanted to basically let hands help make the decision for who wins. So it is quite the factor here, and if Vinz gets all 3 and Stewie gets none, that will really make this a tight race again. Alright, so one hand, really good, especially since it's the last hand. And I'll explain why after he finishes the level, because I don't want to say anything before he finishes the level. Alright. Very nice for Vinz. So the reason why it's like really ideal to have the last hand in any sort of run is because if you die in the Air Force, you'll just go right back to that 3rd hand and you won't have to even gamble with the other 2 hands. So like, say if you get no hands and then you die, you go back to that pipe because that was the last part of the map that you started moving on. So then you have to gamble with all 3 hands again. Not fun. So Stewie making his way into the Navy. We'll see how smooth his Fire Flower grab can be. And nails it. Definitely help close the gap a little bit. He'll save time from not dying, and he'll save time from being able to fire kill Boom Boom, which is about 3 seconds per Boom Boom fight. With the Fire Flower, that will be saved over just stomping on him. (8-1), I believe Vinz had a little bit of trouble the last time he did 8-1, so let's hope that he can do it good this time on the first go. Alright, didn't get P-Speed there, but it's okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, alright. A little sketchy there, but he did it. He did it. He caught like the first pixel of the note block, so it like locked him into place. And like the army of bullet bills was coming after him. He had like almost no choice there. Alright, Stewie. Let's see what you're gonna get. Alright, 99% hand. The rumor is that each hand has a 50% chance of pulling you down, but the first hand in particular, we always just call it the 99% hand. Because almost every time you pass it, it grabs you, so... So the hand's definitely not helping Stewie out right now. He's already at more hands than Vinz. Vin's making the World 8 Fortress look easy. Alright, so we had one player get the third hand, and one player get the first and second hand. So we got to see all three hands get played. Not more than once, though. Vinz looks like he's gonna have a really good time here, a mid-26, which is very, very fast for a race. Probably his tournament PB, honestly, if he can close this out. But let's not say anything and curse him, because that would be fatal. I might just not commentate the second race if I jinx him. To kind of help with figuring out what the, ooh, that was close there. Almost playing around too much on the final auto-scroller, but like I was saying, to help kind of get a time for what load remove times would be, which means we would take out the loading times in between each game. It would be a little more than 50 seconds. Oof. Stewie taking a death there. Doing the stress pause. Gonna use a backup tail. Vin's, meanwhile, heading into the World 8 Castle. Alright, nice one-up clip for Vinz. Stewie making it clear that he is tilting a little bit right now. Alright, very good 8-2 for Stewie. And meanwhile, we have Vinz finishing up his tournament race. Very, very strong run for Vinz. Get your GGs out for him. He will be taking the first game, and that just puts him ever so much closer to being in the semifinals. So 26-37 for Vinz. I'm guessing that's around like a 25-42 without loads, which is pretty close to his PB, I think, but I'm also just kind of throwing numbers out there and doing math in my head at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, so you might not want to trust me on that. But let's cheer Stewie on. He can still put up a pretty good run here. Still a sub 30 potentially. So for the multiple classic Mario games leaderboard, we have two timing methods. The one you see on screen right now, the one that the players are using for this race, is with loads time, also known as RTA time. But for the official leaderboard, if you were to submit a run, your official time that would determine your rank would be your without loads time, also known as the LRT or load remove time. So yeah, that would be like 26-37 RTA with loads, but a really good run for him, one of the best in the tournament. Also really glad that Stewie's not forfeiting, that he's willing to finish this out. Good sportsmanship on his end. But I am gonna go and give Vinz the marker that he won the first race. Boom. did it. We got a question mark block for Vince. So we going for the swag elevator skip clip. Did not get it, unfortunately. Only saves about 1 second if you do it the first time, so overall a time loss there, but it's alright. Going for swag. Gets that clip. That one loses time. Alright, Stu. Here we go. 35 fireballs. Almost getting the impossible pattern. Nothing you can really do about that. But Stewie finishing just under 30 minutes, so great job to both runners for putting on an entertaining first race. Go ahead, we'll make a second race room. We are using racetime.gg for our race rooms. A good way to help the runners count down together so they can start at the same time. So, the person who loses in this matchup is not eliminated from the tournament just yet. We do have 2 brackets for the bracket stage. Right now, especially since this is only the first matchup, obviously we're going to be in the top bracket, the winner's bracket. So the person who loses this matchup isn't eliminated just yet. They're going to be going to the bottom bracket, or the loser's bracket. And then people who lose matches in the bottom bracket get eliminated from the tournament then. Also, I would like to apologize for the little delay in starting the race. We were a little bit late, but we are really happy to have the SpeedGaming restreams. So we appreciate everyone being patient. Alright, just waiting for the runners to get ready here. Should be starting the next race momentarily. While we wait for these two to get started, I would like to mention if you all really enjoy these types of speedruns, and want to see more multi-game speedruns like this, we do have an entire leaderboard dedicated to these types of speedruns, and this category is actually one of the shorter categories we have. So obviously the name of the leaderboard, you can look it up on speedrun.com. The name on the top of the screen, which is the same as the leaderboard, is called Multiple Classic Mario Games. So you can go on there. We have Famicom Trilogy, which is this category. We have the NES Trilogy, which is Mario 1, which we play today. Mario 2, the veggie throwing one. Mario 2 USA. Mario 3 on the NES version as well. That's the NES Trilogy. And we have Quadrilogy, which is these three games, plus Mario 2 USA, the veggie one. And we have a category called Pentathlon, which is Mario 1, Mario Lost Levels, Mario 2 US, Mario 3, and Mario World. And the list goes on. We have even longer categories. The longest speedrun on there, on that leaderboard, is 15 hours long. And it's a 10-game speedrun done by some weirdo who thought that was a good idea to waste his time doing that. But, yeah, lots of awesome multi-game categories, and shoutouts to Vince for posting that in the Twitch chat. Yeah, if you're interested in that, then yeah, go check out multiple classic Mario games on speedrun.com. There are lots of talented runners, even outside this tournament, that are just so good at all of these games and just that are just insane at all of these games, and they just are so consistent, and they really crack out some insane times. The world record for this has like a 458 SMB1, and then like an 803 Lost Levels, and then like an 11 like 01 Mario 3. It's like crazy the times that people get in these speed runs. But yeah, whenever ready. Oh, they actually started. I guess my restream's a little bit behind. And also, don't listen to the chat. I'm not the main character here. MCMG is really just possible because of so many people that have done these types of speedruns, especially in the past few years. Really, the whole community of awesome runners that have kept this leaderboard so lively over the years. So, special shoutouts to everyone who's been doing these categories for the many years they've been around. So just huge shoutouts to the whole MCMG community as a whole. So yeah, we're just about synced up here. So both runners are pretty much tied this time around. Stewie with the same Troll Goomba as last time. So Vince having a slight lead again in the World 4, but nothing that will determine the race. Again, we have another 25 minutes to go, so at least. And if Stewie takes this game, we will have a third race. They really didn't make Lakitu a very useful enemy in this game, I guess. Just keep running forward, and I mean, obviously for a casual player, you know, if you're gonna slow down and grab coins and whatnot, he can get pretty annoying, but from a speedrunner's perspective, yeah, Lakitu nothing. Coming from the owner of the Lakitu Bros Discord server. He's a nothing burger enemy in speedruns. I do like to see Stewie. He did mention that he didn't want to do any right warps in these two races, and so far he hasn't, so very good job for him. So I don't know, I don't exactly have these players' PBs pulled up. I think they're like around the same time, actually. I'll pull it up here right now. Let's hope my computer doesn't get fried from doing this. I have a very cheap Dell Windows 10 computer that can't support so many tabs being open. Alright, we have them here. Wow, they're both tied, actually. They both have a 25-33. We have the two people that are tied on the leaderboard doing this race. So, can't get any cooler than that, I guess, right? Stewie taking a death there in 8-2. That's like such a weird Koopa, too. Like, he bounced on him. And then, like, he just didn't land on the block next to him. That's, like, really rare, actually. There is a Koopa pattern you can get at the end of 8-2 as well, where, like, you bonk on him, well, you stomp on him, obviously, and then you bonk on that one tile stair. That one tile step, I mean. In the middle there. Like, you don't, like, just clear it. Like, you just bonk on it, and you almost die from that. But Vin's having another lead into the final level of SMB1. Gets the wall jump that time. How does he do the wrong warp? Very good wrong warp. Really fast, too. He got the extra in-game second there. So 8-3 is one of those levels that I'm sure you saw both these runners do it. They intentionally slow down to avoid getting fireworks. Since if you do 8-3 without slowing down, you'll get a 243 on the timer. So that will give you 3 fireworks and it loses time. So it's faster to slow down slightly and just lose an in-game second. Right, Stewie getting the wall jump too. Pretty safe wrong warp, can't blame him. You don't want to make a 30-second mistake like that. So we see Stewie taking advantage of what I was talking about in 2J last time with the duck swimming there. He ducked while he was on a surface underwater, and it shrunk his hitbox down because he was like technically duck jumping underwater with the hitbox, but his sprite was still normal ducking, or normal swimming, sorry. Mario, because the developers didn't design a duck swimming sprite. Alright, so we have both players in the lost levels now. So we saw Vinz do a little bit of a slowdown there. That will manipulate the elevator he just jumped off to spawn higher up. So that way he can land on it earlier and progress to the pipe that leads to the second room earlier. A little bit faster. Because if you don't slow down at all, and you spawn the elevator without... Oof. So Vin's taking a death, and I think that brings it back to the very beginning. Yep, so we're back to tied now. Well, not tied, but almost tied. Stewie has a very slight lead now. Just like I was saying before, anything can happen in these races. But, like I was saying earlier about the elevator, if you do, I think Stewie kind of demonstrated what I was going to talk about. If you don't slow down before the elevators, you just spawn them on screen as fast as possible, they actually spawn, like, the one you want to land on spawns at the bottom of the screen. So you have to wait for it to come all the way up, and that just takes forever. And now we're, like, basically tied. Now we're, like, literally tied. Just about. Aw, Stewie's one frame rule ahead. Stewie has to lose a frame rule somewhere. Oh, gets the clip grab though. That's gonna put him another frame rule faster. Vinz might need to save a frame rule on the next game switch, who knows. So Stewie chose to power up both times in 4-1. I'm guessing Vinz will power up in 4-2. But maybe he'll juke me and do something else. Yeah, he's gonna do that. He's gonna troll me. And just be big only for a little while. No shame, no shame. Big only is cool sometimes. I do wonder why he does that though. I've never really seen anyone else do that. I'm gonna have to interrogate him in the interviews afterwards. So I'm guessing both the players are gonna go for the risky 4-3 strats to get in with the bullet bills. Yep. Ooh, Vin's got a really nice bullet bill. It's not guaranteed that the bullet bill will spawn high up like that to where you can just bounce off him. But if you do get a high bullet bill like that, always take that opportunity to bounce off him. Then you'll land up on that top part with the coins and you'll skip that 3-frame window gap that I was talking about the last time. Nice clip for Vinz. A nice clip for Stewie. It's like we're watching a mirrored run right now. A very good finish to 4-4 for Vinz. So one thing I didn't mention earlier was that if you use your fireballs to fire kill Bowser and then grab the axe, it skips an animation. So if you don't fire kill Bowser and he's alive when you grab the axe, it plays a little animation of the bridge collapsing in Mario definitely. Of Bowser falling into the lava. And that will lose you a few seconds per castle. So Stewie potentially saved time over Vinz. Not a huge amount, only a couple seconds, but it will help potentially. Alright, here comes the super jump. Stewie not quite hitting the vine block there. You do need to hit that vine block that Vinz hit in order to set the Koopas up in the correct spot to do the super jump. And now we have both players without fire now. Alright, we're gonna see two beautiful back-to-back devil spells. Let's see it. Alright, I think I'm logging off for tonight. Honestly. No, that's actually, like, not hard to do. Everyone really does that at some point. It's just hard to... It's like, you have to be tapping right when you're trying to clip into the pipe. So it's easy to, like, jump out of the pipe, but not be able to react in time. So yeah, it is actually pretty easy to do that mistake. But he did recover very well from that. Good job recovering from that death. Especially since Stewie has the Fire Flower, he can more confidently power through World 8. And I'm gonna wait like 5 seconds. Alright, and the gap is slowly getting shorter, getting smaller. We'll definitely see, I'm sure we'll see a time save from Stewie in 8-4 as well, since he has the Fire Flower. Especially with the last room, because there's 2 Bowsers in there. So I'm gonna see how much of a lead Vince has over Stewie right now. We'll do the flagpole grab as a good indicator. And yes, you do have to slow down there on the elevators or else you won't make it. I wasn't paying attention to the flag grab because I started talking again. So we'll just do the level fade in for 8-4. So 14 flat for Vinz. We'll say 7 seconds, so a Fire Flower 8-4 can make up a good chunk of that. So fireballing that blooper that Stewie shot actually will manipulate the fire bar to be in a better position, so you can actually beat the water room faster. I didn't know that for a long time, but I do now. I feel very smart. So Vin's not taking the backup mushroom, he's just gonna go in this small only and gets a good bruise. We'll see how Bowser is. Maybe not grabbing the mushroom will pay off. Alright. Almost kisses Bowser, but not quite. Gets through and does maintain his lead in Mario 3. Or entering Mario 3, I mean. But Stewie is right on his tail. This can come down to hands. We will just have to wait and see. So we got Vince starting Mario 3. Stewie should follow in like 10 seconds, I'm guessing. So, just as a reference, the Japanese version of Mario 3, for the 80% no wrong warp category, which is what we're doing here in this tournament, for this game, is about 20 seconds slower, if I had to guess, over the NES North American version. But then you get to like warpless and 100%, which are significantly longer, and the time gap is much bigger. I'll do another time difference check here at the end of 1-3. I'll probably use the when they open the chest as a cue. So 1656 for Vinz. Alright, 9 seconds, so Vince has gained a couple seconds over Stewie versus when we checked last, but still pretty insignificant, especially when taking hands into consideration. Each hand is a little over 20 seconds. And yep, there's a little bit of a mistake for Vinz, and that's gonna bring Stewie back in the lead a little bit. If we end up tying this and I have to frame count the runs, that would be funny. We have Stewie mentally preparing himself for the worst case scenario. Yeah, he's gonna get one hand and he's gonna like it. He'll like it if it's the second hand. If it's the first hand, he'll hate it. There actually is a little bit of a D-lag strat in this level that I think both the runners are going to go for. We're not quite there yet, and I didn't point it out last time. Right up here where Stewie is. So they're going to try to kill as many bombs as possible because there's so many things on screen. That should be like, if we end up tying for some reason, a race, the tiebreaker should be the amount of lag frames you got. Just make the runners go back and watch their whole VOD for lag frames. Whoever scored more lag frames wins. Right, both runners would be going for the fire flower here like last time. Let's hope both runners can keep it. Stewie almost missing it. His D-pad's deceiving him. What? Alright, Vin's keeping his fire flower too, so yeah, this is really close right now into the hands. And speaking of which, it is time to do our predictions for the hands. So how many hands are each player going to get? Alright, we got 2 guesses of 2s. The perfect streak of 2s going on, chat. The hands, this can definitely change things. If Stewie has better hand luck and takes game 2, and if he can take game 3, that would put him in the semifinals. Alright, so we got 1 hand so far for Stewie, and Vin's getting grabbed by the 99,000,000% hand. Alright, and alright, so Stewie in a pretty good spot right now. Alright, so we got both one-hand runs, so this is as close as it can really be, just about. And I'm sure both the runners are watching the stream. They've both been in chat pretty frequently, so I'm sure they're both really nervous right now. This level can be especially scary because you have to get really close to the rocky wrenches to shoot them, but you don't want to get hit because then you'll go back down to small. That's not the US version where you go back down to big. You go straight to small in this version if you get hit with the fire flower. So let's hope these rounds can have a good 8-1. You'll be nailing the fast early 8-1P speed. Alright, and Vin's also getting 8-1P speed. Stewie still has a star, so he can do the first room of the World 8 Fortress a little bit faster. Alright, Stewie done with 8-2, Vin's not far behind him. So yeah, ideally you'd use the star for 8F, because you can just breeze through those little roto discs or whatever. But 8-1's like the second best option. Vin's having a little bit of trouble there exiting room 1. But Stewie widening his lead a little bit. Very clean 8F. A really good run for Stewie right now. Let's hope he can nail these next 2 levels and come home with a really good time, and potentially a win. And really good run for Vince, too. Honestly, like, these 2 guys have been putting out some crazy runs tonight. Definitely worth giving them a follow. You know, I believe we have their Twitch, their Twitch links. Yeah, there we go. I wasn't sure if it was R or Runner. I was a little paranoid of embarrassing myself, but we did it. Yeah, twitch.tv/StewieCartman and twitch.tv/vinzchillin. Go check them out. Very good Mario runners. Definitely worth your time watching. Alright, Stewie just has to top this run off with a good Bowser's Castle and he'll bring it home. Alright, going for a little bit of swag there. Alright. Is that your room, please? Alright, and he nails it, so it's all up to Bowser RNG now. All up to him. And that is it. Stewie will be taking home game 2. So this is awesome. We're gonna have a 3rd race here. And honestly, Vin's is not far behind him, only like 20 seconds. So really good race between both runners. Gotta go ahead, I gotta make a new race room for these guys. I'll go ahead and give Stewie a light up question mark block. Those are always fun. Cool. So we got 1-1 right now. Ready. We'll get started on the final race. Like I was saying earlier, just go check out both these guys. They've both been around the speedrunning community for years, and they've really shown their experience through these runs. Definitely two of the greats for multi-game speedrunning. We did just have the command up, but yeah, twitch.tv/Stewie Cartman and twitch.tv/vinzchillin. Go check out both of them. Where do you see the other leaderboards in upcoming games? So the leaderboard, if you're talking about the official speedrunning leaderboard, there was a link for it that was just posted in the chat. But yeah, Trenton got the actual bracket up here. Yeah, the tournament standings are in that command. My brain was thinking you were talking about the actual leaderboard for speedrunning, not the actual tournament. My brain's allowed to not work because it's 10:30 on a Friday night. That's my excuse. So both players taking off, and you guessed it, SMB1. Let's hope Stewie doesn't get hit by the troll Goomba a third time. Good. Alright, very good that Stewie didn't get hit that time. Both players really tight entering World 4. Yep, this is a best of 3 race. All the races will be best of 3, but the grand finals are going to be a best of 5. So grand finals, there will be a minimum of 3 races and potentially up to 5 races. Yeah, the first race was a couple minutes apart, but the second race was about like 15 seconds apart. He came down to the wire, and the lead definitely traded multiple times in race 2. And I'd like to see the same for this race. Ooh, Stewie almost went too fast there, so if you go down the pipe too early, while Mario is still moving, you'll actually scroll the screen as you're going down the pipe, and that will cause the destination of the pipe to go from the warp zone to the actual correct destination, which would be the coin room. You don't want to be in the right destination, you want to be in the wrong destination. Yeah, we got Stewie coming in with the assist with posting the leaderboard in the chat. He can play and type at the same time. Has anyone hit the coin room in the tournament? I think there has been 1 or 2 instances where someone right warped, but I really can't remember. We should be getting these races uploaded to YouTube pretty soon, I'd imagine. Let's hope A2 is nice to these runners here. Alright, so far so good. Alright, good. 341 for both players here. But yeah, that's the problem with messing up the wrong warp, is if you actually go to the coin room, unless you want to wait for the time to run out, but even then I think it will still like spawn you at the halfway point, because the 4-2 checkpoint is like right after that pipe you need to go down. So yeah, basically messing up the wrong warp, you have to like go through the next pipe, and then you have to game over in 4-2. You can't like die once and then restart the level, you have to go back to 4-1. Or if you really want, just reset the console and start back at 1-1, if you feel like it. But I would not advise that. Right, Vin's getting the wall jump, but Stewie didn't quite get it, unfortunately. But both players taking advantage of duck swimming. See, a duck swimming up to the exit pipe there in the water room can be pretty dangerous, because there's that little gap above the pipe between the green wall and the pipe. So if you actually end up squeezing in there, you'll get pushed to the right and inside the wall, and there's no way you can actually get out of the wall. So you have to actually wait for the time to run out, and then die due to a time up. So, beginner advice, do not do that. That does not make your run faster. Alright, both runners doing 1-1 pretty good here. Hopefully nothing happens in 1-2. That second room can be really troubling for runners. So Vin's going for the slowdown again like I mentioned last time. Manipulating that elevator that we need to land on to be higher up when we spawn it. Stewie not going for it though. Alright, and Vin's making it through. And same thing with Stewie. Vin's grabbing the mushroom, his typical strat there. We're gonna see Stewie power up, to fire Mario. But Vin's will probably be staying as big only again. He likes that for 4-3. So yeah, for those who have like just tuned in, or tuned in like somewhat recently, the winner of this match goes into the semifinals. And we are gonna have a match tomorrow night. It is against we'll have Abella Brothers and Rubsy, also known as Will. Those two will be doing their race tomorrow night at the same time that this one was going to start. So I'll also be commentating that one, so if you're enjoying my beautiful voice, then tune in tomorrow night at 9 PM Eastern for that. Small Fire Mario does work in the Lost Levels. Only on the original FDS version though. It is not possible on the All-Stars version. There actually is a practice hack for Lost Levels on the All-Stars version. And that one, if you get hit and then like activate the menu and activate a Fire Mario through the menu with power-ups, you can actually get Small Fire Mario there, but obviously you can't do that for a speedrun because you're using a practice hack. We getting hit by a very tight flame there. That flame has got to be like probably the worst part of 4-4, or one of the worst parts at least. Right, be nice, Bowser. Right, very, very good. Vin's nailing the super jump. So it is important to note, when you want to do a big jump like that off an enemy, you have to be at walking speed. If you have full speed and you go to bounce off an enemy, you won't bounce as high. Really weird. That's why you see the runners kind of slow down for a moment before they hit the paratroopa. So we having problems with that red piranha plant again. And Vince, however, not messing up the devil spell like last time. He gets through it pretty easily. Alright, he gets through this time though. For Stewie. So you see Vince slow down there in 8-1 because he has to wait for the paratrooper to position himself lower so he can bounce off the paratrooper and not die. Because if you don't slow down at all and jump to that paratrooper, he will be too high for you to bounce off him and you'll just fall in the pit and die. Rumor has it that does not save time, so... Vin's having a hard time getting up to the vine. Fortunately, 8-2 is a pretty short level. So it won't be enough for Stewie to catch back up. Didn't notice Stewie was not going for the wrong warp, but obviously you can't blame him entirely because like we saw what happened to Vin's in the second race. It's just really hard to not die when trying to do devil spells sometimes because it's just you're trying to tap right to push Mario left because that makes sense. And try to push yourself into the pipe, but since you're trying to hold right when you do it, if you jump out of the pipe, you'll jump to the right and into the pit. Stewie getting that 8-1 clip twice now. So Ben's about 2 levels ahead of Stewie right now. Alright, Vin's taking the beginning of 8-4 safe. That part can be really hard to do. I've died there a lot. Even in multi-game runs, it's even worse. So that part, that Vince just passed, where he jumped off the elevator and it was before that big fire bar, that's actually a maze. I'll talk about it more when Stewie gets to that part, just so it's kind of easier for you guys to understand what I'm talking about, but... Ooh, Stewie getting some weird hammers there. Alright, Vin's grabbing that axe. He is now 1 game away from potentially being in the semifinals. Stewie has a pretty interesting way of tackling the G room there. Normally players will like jump to the right side of the screen, and right when Mario hits the right edge of the screen, people will hold left and try to come back to the pipe that way. Oh, taking a game over. I forgot he had only 1 life. That is... wow. That's pretty bad for Stewie, but let's hope that he can recover pretty well and finish the run out strong. Vin's Alright, this is a little interesting. Vince does not have his mushroom for the end of 1-3, but there are 2 power-ups in the World 1 Fortress. So, not a run-ender, that's for sure. Alright, so Sui taking a death there in 8-2. You may be on a little bit of a tilt. I know that can be like really frustrating gaming over and at the end of World 8. One of the longest worlds in the whole game. Vin's warping out of World 1, getting to World 8. Yep, so once they grab the axe in 8-4, they have to wait 25 seconds before they start the next game. So for Mario 3, that would be pressing start on the tile screen, and for Mario Lost Levels, it would be once Mario starts moving in 1-1. That Koopa Troopa, he barely had it on screen far enough to where it came back and hit him. That's definitely something you want to be wary about when you're playing this game in Mario 1. Whenever you kick a Koopa shell like that. You must have like barely been fast enough, like by a few frames. Even I was just kind of like, what? Like, how did that come back? But here we go. Back in 8-4. Let's hope he can do it. And playing around with the bombs there in the World 8 auto-scroller. Yeah, this section, another game over in the same spot. He's gonna keep going. This game cannot break him. But yeah, that spot where Stewie died, that's technically a maze. If you jump too high, it will reset the maze. I actually, back years ago when the 1+2J, that's one of our categories that we have on MCMG, SMB1, and SMB2J. So it's basically this category, but minus SMB3. So I was doing a warpless run of 1+2J, and at the time it was easily record pace. It was like mid 42 minute run, and now the record's like in the mid 40s, sub 41 range. But back when I was like basically on pace for the first 42 in the category of 1+2J warpless, I looped that maze. I think I looped it twice. I don't remember, but it's like one of the only times I remember doing it in a run. Alright, let's see how many hands Vince is gonna guess. I'm gonna guess 0. I'm feeling lucky. For Vince, I'm feeling lucky. Alright, let's see. Alright, oof. That was like the perfect time for that hammer bro there. Shooting that hammer. And Vin's getting no hands. That's just gonna further help his lead a little bit here. There's so much going on both screens right now. It's like I'm trying to explain one thing and then like something big happens in the next screen and I just can't get to it in time. So we get in a few fireworks. Nothing wrong with that. Having a little bit of a party in the castle. Turning 8-4 into a little party palace. Let's hope that Stewie can get through this room now. Third time's the charm. Taking these last two Koopas safe, can't blame him. Hey, Bruce was pretty good. Obviously, it's like guaranteed to get by Bruce because you just walk off the edge and you can walk into the floor. Really cool. I wonder who found that, what they were thinking. Like, whoa. I can just walk through the floor now. I wanted to make sure they didn't have Game Genie on or something. But it looks like... I don't know if Stewie's gonna keep going and he just reset his timer or if he's forfeiting, but... I'll check the race room. Now, Stewie forfeited, so, yeah, great job for Stewie for finishing off 2J. He did not let the game break him. Ooh, a couple of fireballs went through Boom Boom there. Yeah, good job to Stewie taking the game in the quarterfinals. Very good job. And it's probably on his best run like he's ever had for the tournament. Maybe even a PB. I don't know. So I know like his first run was like a 26-37, and that was like only 10 seconds off his PB. And it looks like he's going to be at least more than that. In this run. Everyone calls this level the Super Tank. I always used to call it Tank number 2. Alright, this is a really good run for Vinz. Even splitting early to boost his confidence. He probably doesn't have splits up and he thought that he had him up, so he just split at the end of the level. And maybe it was just a judgment for how long Bowser's Castle is going to take. Wow. Oh, wow, dude. That's just a troll. Like, how unlucky? Wow. How unlucky, dude, can you get? And he didn't get hands, so he doesn't even have a tail. He like has to do this small. Man. I'm sure that was PB pace too by like 15 seconds or something. That's just... wow. Ugh. I don't know if he's tilting now. But that would be something to be very frustrated over. What if he can finish strong still? Yeah, an interesting thing that you're gonna see Vince do here is he's gonna be like sitting like inside of Bowser's sprite because his hitbox is like only his head, I believe, or like at least the upper part of his body. Like you'll see, he goes to sit on you, but because the lower half of his body doesn't have a hitbox, it'll you can just sit there and not have to worry about anything. That's like really dumb, because like sometimes if you're too far to one side of him and he goes to shoot, you'll just be barely too far enough to like not get hit. Like the fireball will nick you. Level's just playing with him at this point. He had like a really good pace, and now the Level's just like toying with him. Alright, third time's the charm. Let's see it. Alright. Come on, Bowser. Jump in the hole. There we go. Took him long enough to get in that hole. Definitely feel bad for Venz though. I definitely think he got dragged around a lot in that level. But he is going to win the best of 3. So... so Vinz will be moving on to the semifinals. Stewie is not eliminated from this tournament yet. He is going to be in the bottom bracket. So, yeah, GG to both runners. I think all of the runs that we had today were sub 30, which is a really good goal to have for races. We're probably going to be seeing the runners do interviews here shortly. Do have Vinz in the commentator room right now getting set up.
My mic is muted. What's up, Mars?
I did the same thing. I was talking and then I realized my mic was off and I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, congrats on your tournament win. How do you feel?
I feel great. I also feel good that last bit finally finished. That that I like how the duality of speed running right there. Your PB pace in a race, and then a lot of RNG just happens, and then boom, you're 3 minutes behind your PB.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely that can happen sometimes. It's really unfortunate. They had 3 pretty solid runs overall.
absolutely. I not taking away from this victory today. I knew and when I went toe to toe with Stewie in game two, I knew I had to make enough of a cushion for me out of the first 2 games. I that's what my game plan was, and I think that worked out in game three. Like as you mentioned earlier, Stewie's really prolific Mario 3 runner, so I wanted to make sure I have the first 2 games down to even give myself a shot, and thankfully it did go my way for the most part, and I'm just happy to have done 3 great races with Stewie.
Yeah, very good job. Go over to Stewie now. How do you feel about your races tonight?
Uh, I was I was just not on my game tonight. It was just so many things went wrong.
Yeah, we all have those nights
It was just
sometimes.
not my night.
It still did pretty good though. Definitely no
Yeah,
complaints from me. But yeah, you'll be going down to the bottom bracket. You'll be facing the whoever loses the matchup between myself and the winner of Abella versus Grubsy. That's gonna go on tomorrow. So whoever wins
okay.
against Abella and Drubsy faces me, and whoever loses that will face you in the bottom bracket. So you're not out of the tournament yet.
Yeah, I just feel like too many things went against me tonight. Like there were so many deaths that shouldn't have happened.
Hmm.
I feel you,
And like
Stewie.
I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully don't let that keep you down though. I think you can definitely
Yeah.
put up some really strong runs going forward here. Especially because
Yeah.
like the tournament's just picking up again after a couple weeks, so I think everyone's a little bit rusty. I think everyone will get back into the swing of things, including
Yeah,
yourself, pretty
I think so.
soon. But
Definitely.
but yeah, Vince, you're now in the semifinals. You're one match away from the finals. So how you feeling right now about your potential? You got 3 potential opponents. How you feeling right now heading into the semis?
I'm I'm feeling good. I'm just taking it 1 game at a time, and obviously a little bit rusty. And um, like that first, I think that first race. Oh no, the this race number 2 was when I started being a little um, held back by 2J. Good thing I turned turned it around in the third race. So it is after all, it's a game of adjustments. I'm glad I was able to adjust, and I just hope to continue that kind of philosophy and that kind of game plan in mind, um, and hopefully that gets me far in the tournament.
Yeah, hopefully. I guess we'll do our closing statements now. I'll start with you, Vince. Any final words before we sign off?
First, thank you so much to SpeedGaming for streaming this wonderful matchup that we had tonight, and to everyone, to all who has dropped by in the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the viewers who supported the match tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the match, and to you, Mars, thank you as well for providing some very good, insightful commentary as always. Always good to have you on the commentators. And I hope you all continue to support the tournament. A bunch of matches up for grabs, and they will all be fun to watch. So I hope you all continue to stand by and support us. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. How about you, Stewie? Any final words?
Yeah, just thank you to Speed Gaming, GG's to Vinz, and hope to have a better performance in the next round.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll play really good next time around.
Yeah. I don't know, like after that 2J in game 3, I was way too tilted to even continue. I was just like, just get me out of this game and then I'm done.
Good call.
Yeah, we all have that happen at some point.
And it's good for mental health, you know.
Yeah.
At least silver lining though, you know, you just getting over the hump and finishing off. That is good for.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you get to finish it in the end. That's remarkable.
Yeah. Like I'm not even sure what happened, because like that's the same cue I use for that jump every time. So and I have no idea how I didn't get any height from that jump. Like it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Get to see it happen like on a race setting.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll do my closing statement now. So GG's to Vince and Stewie for incredible performances, keeping the commentary and chat entertained here. So looking forward to see some more performances from you two in the future. And big thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting these tournaments. It's always nice having the restreams, and they're definitely the best ones to do it. So I'm glad we have them here for us to do these races with footage. And big thank you to the chat for being awesome and talking among yourselves and just having fun watching the races. It's what helps make these tournaments alive. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned in tonight. And we do have a race tomorrow night, July 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe. We have Abella Bros versus Drubsy, also known as We'll See Ya. So stay tuned for that. I'll be commentating that as well. And with that, I hope to see everyone tomorrow night. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, GG's.